for educational critical review and reaction is the late, great Jordan Maxwell.
Do you remember the zebra murders in San Francisco?
I remember something about them, yeah.
Okay, it was supposed to be about these black guys that were coming out of prison, and they all came, the Charles Manson, and the zebra murders, and it seems to be something going on at the Vacaville prisons over there in California, where all these strange, deranged people were coming out of these prisons just mentally off, and causing as much chaos. I mean, some of these guys were on parole and they kept getting in trouble and they didn't get locked up. It's like the system purposely kept them out there to do this stuff. And these guys were committing, all these murders, and they all had the same psychiatrist.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's right. But they were purposely being allowed to do it. Purposely.
Yeah. And the Charles Manson guy, he kept saying something about the blacks were going to take over. The blacks were going to take over. And he kept saying something about the Black Panthers. But then when I think about it, he was talking more about the black Muslims, and that's exactly what happened. After he got arrested in '69, all these deranged black guys were coming out thinking, saying the white man was the devil and all this stuff, and they were randomly killing whites. And I'm thinking, but Charles Manson appeared to have the same sort of mind controllers that these men had. I'm thinking he had some inside information that this was going to happen.
No doubt about it.
He
And Hollywood's involved in it up to the throat. Hollywood's involved in it.
Right.
Like Dick Gregory said, Hollywood does three things. They tell you what they've done, what they're doing now, and what they're getting ready to do.
Right, like the Zodiac Killer. I mean...
That's it. That's a big story in itself. That Zodiac Killer, that's a real big story.
I don't think, like the Zodiac murders, I don't think that was one man. I think that was definitely some sort of group,
That's exactly right.
The police. I was reading about this, and the people who were calling in saying they did it. Most of the time, it was a phone booth right outside the police station, and the dispatchers seemed to be involved with it because they kept giving wrong information about who to look for, the suspects, and
that's right.
It just seems like there's some over there in Presidio Heights, the weird military connection. People like Michael Aquino and all these weird groups.
You got it. That's exactly right, boy. That's exactly what's going on.
They want
all kinds of really heavy-duty Marxist-Leninist stuff, as opposed to Nazi stuff.
I'm from Muskegon, Michigan, and I'm aware that the woman Kathy O'Brien. I grew up down the street from the high school that she said the Jesuits mind controlled her at. You remember Kathy O'Brien?
No, I knew her. I knew her. I went and picked her up at the airport. Her and the guy with her. I went and picked them up at the airport a couple of times. Took them back down to the airport. Here in L.A.
Yeah,
I know them.
I read her book and I said this can't be true. And I went to go look, and sure enough, matter of fact, the same priest that she was saying did this to her, they're still in operation. Some of them are still working. They're still doing what they do.
Story.
Yeah.
It's an incredible story about how jumbled up this stuff really is, how far gone it really is. The people in this country have no idea to what extent this crap is going on.
Jordan, you remember the Manson guy? They killed a family the next night, the Lino LaBianca family, and on the guy's stomach, they had they were trying to say it was cuts, but it looked like maybe the police did it with marker. But it was two triangles going the opposite way, like a Masonic type of symbol. It was spelled out war, but it was Masonic, and it looked almost like it looked like the war, and the girls that said Leslie Van Houten of the Manson family, she was saying that she had cut this into the stomach. But, I'm thinking about this. Maybe these people maybe didn't do this because several months went by before they got busted, and they were all out in the desert near a military base. Out in Death Valley, out in Ridgecrest and Inyokern, by that China Lake Naval Base. And I'm thinking maybe these people, this Manson crew and all this, maybe these people were meant to believe they did it. And somebody else did it.
Could be.
Because this Lino LaBianca guy, he was connected to the mob. And, the Sharon Tate and all this stuff, it looked like some mafia, occult, witchcraft type stuff going on. And
no doubt about it. It's been going on for a long time, all especially in Hollywood and up in the Hollywood Hills.
That's where Laurel Canyon.
Yep. That's it, Laurel Canyon.
I've been there before, and it's a beautiful place. But all the stuff that's happened there with the murders, the Wonderland murders, and
that's right.
Was it Nazism created there too? Wasn't it?
That's right. Nazism was created right up there on Mulholland and Laurel Canyon Boulevard, Laurel Canyon, and Mulholland is where a bunch of really wealthy Nazis lived up there, and they were all getting together. This is before Adolf Hitler even came into power.
They even had a compound up there.
That's right. They had a compound up there, and the compound was inside of a mountain, not on the mountain. They were inside the mountain. You could drive by and see the mountain open up, and there was a big parking structure inside the mountain. You drive inside the mountain, and then the mountain would come back down and cover. So it was a fake.
Yeah.
And
I remember you telling that story about.
And that's where all the planning for Adolf Hitler was being planned up on Mulholland and Laurel Canyon, and here in Studio City.
And they were making movies about it. Charlie Chaplin made a movie called The Great Dictator or something like that.
That's right.
Way before Hitler even really was known to the world, they were already making movies about what was going to happen.
Yeah, and then you find out Charlie Chaplin was left-wing and pro-Marxist and pro-communist. So and Hollywood was making movies about these kind of things. You're just opening up a can of worms, because the deeper you get, the bigger it gets, the deeper it gets. You remember the ABC television network miniseries V?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought.
Remember that?
Yeah, I've seen the old one and the new one.
Yeah, I saw both too. I saw the old and the new one.
Yeah.
And the new one, the visitors, the aliens, are handing out pamphlets explaining to the people of the earth what they want, why they're here, what they want to do. And the name of the booklet, the name of the pamphlet in the TV show was called Dawn of a New Day.
That's what I've been learning that from you over the years about the dawning. If you just Google the word Dawn of a New Day, you get a million different things on it.
That's right. That's right. And I started talking about that back in 1967. I was doing a radio show talking about the dawn of a new day. Nobody ever heard of it. Nobody knew what I was talking about. 1968, 69, and 70, I was talking about it in the motion picture studios. I'd go to the different movie studios at night and give lectures on the sound stages.
Yeah,
I could get in. Yeah.
I think they got something going on out there in Death Valley. These the lizard people or whatever they are. And, these people, I mean, the human race doesn't realize these entities are here.
Of course they are. They're all around us, but nobody sees it. Well, that's like the movie, They Live. Remember?
Yeah, where he puts on the special glasses.
Nancy talked about the reptilians. Her father worked for the Air Force.
Yeah, I've listened to so many of your interviews, Jordan, over the years. I mean, I know you've been doing a lot of them lately, but most of the main ones, I mean, from a year ago and back, I've just listened to all of them.
I'm just amazed that people even know of me. I just keep putting the stuff out there. I don't know where it's going. I just keep putting it out there and talking and doing the best I can.
No, I take all this stuff seriously. I mean, I know you don't like to get into the sovereign law stuff too much because, they really like to persecute people on that one. But
yeah, I know. And see, I was one of the very first people who started talking about that publicly.
With Vic, with that guy named Vic, right?
That's right. I knew that stuff was important and all that, but now things have changed. That's why I don't fool with it.
Yeah,
it's a big story.
It is, and it gets into humans being property, basically. Like we're property of whatever these entities.
Of course we are. We're chattel property. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. How old are you?
29. 29.
Because I was going to say, you're very well read and very intelligent, for a guys in his 20s, because usually guys in their 20s out here in California, 29 years old, they're on skateboards with popsicles. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, if you look at a picture of what a man was supposed to look, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, in today's world, you don't become a man until you're like 40.
That's right, at least. And even then, you're fucked up and mentally disordered, man. But
yeah.
But before, when you were 15 years old, you were a grown man. 150 years ago. But today, shit, you could be 29 years old. There's a lot of 29-year-olds out here on skateboards with kids going to roller rink and going to all little silly ball games and all that shit.
Yeah, like that graduation cap. That's like the mortarboard from the Vatican.
That's right. The black mortarboard is the black square. It's called the Saturnian black square.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, I remember you teaching, like, the Hanseatic League, or whoever these guys are, they set up the degree program, the bachelor's, the master's.
That's exactly right. They sure did.
So it's like people are born in society, and they're given a language, they're told to go to college, they go through all this stuff, and they don't even know what it is they're going through.
They have no idea what they're doing. All they're doing, like one teacher told me a long time ago, all you're doing when you're going to college is getting a work permit. That's it. You just get a work permit so you can go get a job. That's it. You're not learning nothing. I ain't teaching you nothing. They're just teaching you just enough so you can go out and get a job. That's it. Go pay your taxes and go have a beer, watch a ball game.
And it all leads, and I've seen it over the years, it all leads straight back to the powers in the Vatican. I
know. That's where it all goes back to, because the way the corporation called the United States Corporation, who owns your body, that corporation called United States Corporation is a subsidiary corporation of a British corporation. And the British corporation is a subsidiary of the Vatican Corporation.
Yeah.
Because you've got to remember that for 2,300 years, Rome has ruled Europe. First of all, under the Caesars and the ancient Roman Empire. And then with the fall of Rome in the 5th century comes the Vatican, and the Vatican picks up where Caesar left off, and it controls the Europe in Rome. So for 2,300 years, Rome has ruled Europe. That's why they say all roads lead to Rome.
Well, that's why I see, like, the Nation of Islam, that Farrakhan guy. I can't believe how idiotic the people are who actually go to this man for spiritual advice, because every time I see him, he's in a picture with a Jesuit priest. He he has a picture. Yeah. He has pictures of Farrakhan, right? He has pictures of L. Ron Hubbard hung up all around his house and stuff. He has these pictures of L. Ron Hubbard of Scientology hung up, and he got these people. He got these people following him, thinking he's this great spiritual leader. And on one angle, he's talking about, the white man's the devil, but on the other angle, he got pictures of L. Ron Hubbard hung up. He's hanging out with Jesuit priest. So it's
and Elijah Muhammad was the great prophet Elijah Muhammad. Well, yeah. Elijah Muhammad was a student
of a Jewish guy, right?
Of a teacher that taught him.
Was it a Jewish guy? Something Ford?
That's
something?
Right. There's a Jewish guy. His name was and in the movie Malcolm X. It actually had it in the movie, a picture of the Jewish guy in one of the temples.
Yeah, yeah. I think I remember seeing it. It was a Jewish guy, and they don't even know where he came from. He just showed up in Detroit. Oh. Yeah, he just showed up one day. Yeah.
And then he gets a student who later on calls himself Elijah Muhammad. And Elijah Muhammad is a great prophet, but he forgot to tell everybody. No, I learned all this shit from a white guy, from some Jewish guy who taught me all of this. And then Farrakhan comes along and learns it all from Elijah Muhammad, and the whole thing can be traced back to a white Jewish guy.
Well, that's why I think Malcolm X might have ended up dead. I think he started figuring stuff.
I think that's exactly why.
He started figuring stuff out, and then he wasn't afraid to say that this is wrong. What we're being taught, and then he ended up dead.
That's right.
Not that.
Then they figured this kid's waking up, so we got to put him back to sleep permanently.
Yeah. They and you know, I've seen with the Jewish people, you know, I'm not anti-Semitic by any means, but Jordan, I've seen where the Jewish people were working with the Nazis.
Well, of course they were. Of course they were.
I've seen pictures of Mengele, and there was Jewish people there working with them at the laboratories.
Of course they were
in Auschwitz.
No, there's all kinds of. Have you ever heard of Dave Emery?
Yeah,
never heard of Dave?
Yeah, I've heard. He's in the research stuff, right?
Yeah, but heavy into that. Well, he's got maybe 200 or 300 radio shows out there on the web. So go on the web and find Dave, D-A-V-E, Emery, E-M-O-R-Y, Dave Emery, and listen to him talking about the Jewish connection to Nazism. The Nazis were big finance. Who was financing Hitler?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the Ashkenazi Jews.
Yeah,
and it's called Ashka, and it's spelled N-A-Z-I, Ashkenazi.
Right, and a lot of their symbolism and stuff, the Ashkenazi Jews, I know that they were druidic in nature a little bit. With the one.
That's right, and they were also into blood, the purity of the blood. The Jews wanted to keep their blood pure, or that's what the Nazis were saying: keep their blood pure.
That's what I couldn't understand in Jonestown. When I saw that footage, I thought I knew these guys. These were German Vatican ratline guys, but then I saw Mark Lane, who I think, you know, Mark Lane's Jewish as far as I know, and I saw Mark Lane. Yeah. I saw Mark Lane there with other Jewish people, like Soviet type Jews. And there was the British there, and then there was blacks there, and they were all working together and they basically killed all these people in the People's Temple. You know, got rid of all the people. It was all these people working together to do wrong.
I know.
That's
right. Yeah.
And I couldn't understand it. I said, you know, why are Nazis and Jewish people and British people and black people? All these people are working together to hurt people who don't even want to hurt nobody else.
Yeah, no, there's a reason, because it was an experiment.
Yeah,
they were experimenting on MK Ultra was doing a lot of experiments on people to see what they could do with human minds. So that was an experiment.
Yeah, I even heard that Mengele was working in California, at that Mendocino Mental Health Hospital.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
They said Mengele. Yeah, they said Mengele was up in California, you know, during the 60s, in working in the prisons and working in the mental wards, you know, and that goes back to these zebra killers, Jordan. They call themselves death angels, and Manson, you know, he called his group, you know, death angels, and you know, I thought about it. Mengele's name is Angel of Death.
That's right.
And it's like maybe that he put
that was his term.
He put that in there because that was his work. You know, he was putting his stamp on his work, so to speak.
Yep. Yeah. There's a lot of information out there on what you're talking about.